Hello, beautiful soul. If you have clicked on this video, I'm guessing you're probably someone that is currently a healer or wanting to be a healer, or know in your innate being that you came here to help the collective and you are ready to fully step into that both feet in. If you're someone that is currently of service, or you've always been since a little young child in your household, then this video is for you. It's really going to be talking about how to be a healer, how to be a space holder, how to be a light worker, how to be of service and step into your purpose with your gifts to help the collective at the highest ascension. So I'm so excited for this video, and we're going to be going over a lot more than just certificates, a lot more than just how many cups of medicine that you've taken, and a lot more than just what Google gives you. I'm going to be giving you the exact secrets that I wish I knew over 8 years ago when I started my journey, and I've been able to help hundreds of souls all across the world, healing, sitting in ceremony retreats, and much more. So I can't wait to share with you these secrets. And if this is something that you love to learn more about, make sure you follow, subscribe, put notification bells so you don't miss another video on healing, learning how to be a healer, as well as healing the sacral and much more. So let's get into this video. The first thing I want to share that is something that probably took me a good half of my journey and time to really embody it fully is knowing that when we take that step into being of service fully for the collective, for our community, for the ones we love, and we're doing that in a space from our heart, is understanding that one, you are simply just there to hold that space, that the person is the person that is healing themselves. They're the ones going through the journey. They're the ones that are reclaiming themselves. They're the ones meeting their inner child. They're the ones meeting their past lives. They're the ones meeting all parts of their shadow and their higher self. And a lot of the times where I see with healings and healers as well, space holders, is knowing that your ego has to be out of the door. It has to be out of the window. Because what happens is instead of holding space to help others heal, we're actually holding space for ourselves, and it's actually feeding our own being as opposed to being of service. Being of service means doing things without the expectation of something in return. And when we can do that, then we can receive things in return because we are in the energy of abundance and flow. So this is one of the biggest things that I wish I was taught at the beginning and I learned. And I heard this from an elder and they said it perfectly, that when someone comes to me and they go through healing, I want them to know that they're not getting their power from me, that they're not getting their awakening from me, they're not getting their spirit from me, that they're getting all of that from themselves. And if I were to tell that person that because of the session that we went through, that because of me, they are the ones that are able to receive it, I'd be taking that person's power. I'd be putting myself on a pedestal. So this is one of the biggest things that I wish I knew on my journey of being a healer, a medicine woman, a space holder, and a teacher of arts as well as healing, is knowing that when that student comes in and they're learning, it's for them, it's their mirror, it's their healing. My job is simply to hold a safe, trauma-informed, contained space where they feel safe to go to these edges, to go into those resistances, to anchor every part of the medicine that is within them. And when we do that, they're able to honor their magic. They're able to step into that. So as a healer, when you're on this path, it's very important to be in your heart. And how you do that is to always check in before you hold someone in healing or before you're offering of service, is to check in and say, be in your heart. Am I in my heart, or am I in a space where I'm distracted, I'm not fully present? And sometimes this part might actually get some people. Sometimes if we're not in our heart, we need to ask ourselves, is it appropriate to be holding space for this person and being of service if we cannot be fully there? If we can't just be? And the answer is no, that we're actually giving that person a service by saying no to them and either postponing it or offering them maybe another tool or another guide that can help them on their journey. And I do this a lot with people who come and they want to do one-on-ones with me and whatnot. I always share with them, be in the space of how can I help this person? Right? It could be simply just having that connection conversation with them and to honor that, or maybe it could be simply for them to scream and let out that sacred rage, or maybe it could be for them to connect with their inner child. But again, it is very important that when you are becoming a healer, that you're in your heart, your ego is out of the door, and you're noticing that this person is actually doing this work themselves, and to make sure that you are letting them know that. The second thing of how to become a healer is welcome and accept the spiritual awakenings. One of the biggest things, and I can say this as a medicine carrier and also as a medicine protector, is that you need to understand when you awaken in yourself to hold people and your mission, you need to walk that path yourself. You need to embody it. And for me, in the line of plants, if you don't do that, then they simply just kick you out of that space to be of service with them. It is all about relationship with self and relationship with your space, that you are holding these people to allow them to heal in the depths of their journey. So again, what is a spiritual awakening? I'd love to do a video on this. If you would love me to do a video on what is a spiritual awakening, what does that look like in depth for healers, let me know down below with hashtag spiritual awakening for healers, and I will do a video for you so I can support you on your journey of being a space holder and healer for the collective. What that means is a spiritual awakening is when you go through a huge, large change. When energy shifts within you, your beliefs, your values, your visions, all aspects of yourself, and in doing so, then you awaken this true divinity, this truth within yourself. And that healer is really that true person, that soul version of you. You're allowing your gifts to come through. You're allowing yourself to open your insight. All of your chakras are getting really heightened and aware and opened up within your body, which is basically your energy centers in your body. And when we do that, then we allow ourselves to have a choice. And this is one of the biggest things that I've seen why healers and space holders don't end up going into their purpose fully, is because we put one foot into the healer space and one foot into the part of us that wasn't awakened before. That we fear the skin that is shedding from us, our being, because that's really what you're doing through a spiritual awakening. You're a snake, you're shedding your skin. And we hold that skin in our hand and we go around in life. And even though that skin is decayed, even though that skin has served us, but doesn't serve us now, we continue to create space for it. We create space for the parts of us that no longer exist or no longer are of service for us right now. So one of the biggest things of becoming a healer is understanding that your stories are what allows you to connect with people once you get on the other side and continue to get on the other side, because healing is not just a state, it is continuous. And stop allowing ourselves to bring those stories on a pedestal as a victim, but rather as empowerment, as understanding why did we have to go through those awakenings, this heartbreak, these traumas, those experiences, bringing compassion and love through our healing and walking that path ourselves, so then we can hold people safely to do the same. It's like if your car is broken right now, are you gonna go to the fisherman to ask him to go and fix your car? No, you're gonna go to the mechanic, obviously, right? So it's like the same thing. If I, for example, come to you and I want someone that is gonna help me with inner child healing, I would hope that you also have been able to connect or start to open that relationship with your inner child, because that's gonna allow me to feel safe to do so too. And both of our inner childs can be in this space and receive this healing, right? You can receive this healing. I can receive this healing through this, right? So it's always understanding that we welcome and accept the spiritual awakenings, because spiritual awakenings is ascension of our true self. That's what it means. And with your ascension of your true self allows your true gifts and your true tools to come through fully. Until you do that, until you allow yourself to let go of the shedded skin from all of the past awakening versions of you and give it to the earth and move forward into the new door and allow yourself to gently close the door behind you and know that whatever is forward is going to be even much more powerful and then the snake skin that you're holding right now that is carrying empty space, empty intention. And that's also an ideology of scarcity if we look at that. And that's a huge video I can talk about, healer scarcity. I see this gleaned a lot as well. It's understanding that when we are fully in our gifts in our heart, our gifts have no other choice but to support us. They have no other choice but to support us. But when we're one foot in, and then we don't decide that I'm going to be that person that is going to be helping people reclaim their inner child and bring the magic within them.
Instead of saying, I guess I'm going to be that person, like I kind of have these gifts.
Your gifts are like, are we doing it or are we not, right? It's like the same thing when we go on a date.
Are we in a relationship or are we not?
We have to allow ourselves to follow our intuition fully in our inner knowing, because that's our deepest power. And a lot of the times we give our knowing to other things, to people, to possessions, to materialism, to money. And as a healer, you understand that the abundance of your gifts actually become such an energetic portal that support you on all levels: physical, emotional, spiritual, every level you can think of. The next part of how to be a healer is learning more about your gifts and practicing them. This is one of the biggest things that have shifted my whole holding. I remember thinking of being able to do 6 to 10 sessions holding people one-on-one for an hour or 40 minutes for a week would be too much for me. And I always say that spirit gives you what you can hold. Spirit gives you what it knows that your soul can handle. And sometimes it's an initiation, that's a transition for you to hold more space. So the more that you're able to work with your gifts and practice it, just like practicing the guitar, the more you'll get to know and build that relationship with your gifts, your tools, and the more that they can also be of service to you, right? So just remember that whenever you are stepping into the space of a healer, right, you are working with all energies within and throughout, right? So it's important for us to first and foremost know that we are not doing it alone. And if you are feeling alone, the biggest thing I'm going to share that no one talks about online is that you're actually not alone. But when you start to work with your gifts, you see the abundance that you're actually so supported with a community that is beyond what you can see. And when you accept that in the 3D, in a human world, in this world, that can also be rippled tenfold. I remember I used to always say, I feel alone. I feel like I'm the black sheep in the family. No one understands me. These were the stories. These were the victimhoods that I would share all the time. And it was preventing me as a space holder, a healer, and teacher to honor and understand that these are my gifts and all these guides and guardians are really supporting me. And I also started to see that there were people in my physical life that were actually teachers themselves and helping me. But I was rejecting them because of my shadow, because of my inner child wounds. So this is very important for us to practice our gifts so we can also understand what are the shadows that we're playing in space holding, in sessions, in our healings, that are actually not for our highest good as a space holder, but also for our clients, right? So this is one of the biggest things. Practice with your tools and do the inner work. And I always say the number one tip I always say is you should be holding space for yourself 1 to 2 weeks a year if you're doing this full time or if you're of service, whether that is a retreat, whether that is focusing, and of course doing some healings here and there. Whenever you notice that when you leave a session, something is triggered, look at that. That is your homework. That is your intentional practice as a healer and space holder to make sure you're holding trauma-informed safe space, okay? Let me know if this resonates with you. If this is like hitting, put a fire emoji down below in the comments. The next thing that's one of the biggest things I teach my students, and it is holding space versus being a sponge. If you go into a healing space, if you are in a person of service or you're learning how to be of service and you feel depleted, you feel exhausted, put your hands up if you know, in the emoji down below, if you know what I'm talking about. You're tired, you're exhausted, you're like, where am I going to get the energy to do anything, right? Most likely you are becoming a sponge. You are not channeling energy. You are actually taking in the energy of whatever or the person that you are working with. And you're walking out feeling like you have to eat a lot of food, that you have to sleep all day, that you can barely talk to your relations, and you're actually having all these energies on you. So then you're noticing you're sad, but it's not your sadness, it's your client's sadness. You're noticing you're angry, it's not your anger, it's your client's anger. So again, this is an example of holding, being a sponge, and holding the energies of the person that is releasing while you're space holding and really supporting a healing session. Then we have the second part, which is holding space. Holding space is what I'm doing right now. I am holding you in all of the things, the triggers, the parts of you that you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that, and I've been doing this for how long, or I just started, I didn't know that, or blah, blah, whatever your stories are that are going through your mind, right? And there's no judgment here because this is a safe space for us to learn. We're all students, all of us. And holding space is understanding for us to just be here, be fully present, and witness and allow that person to scream, to rage, to allow all the emotions to come through and just have no judgment. Just be like, that is who they are and I fully accept that. And that has nothing to do with me. That is their process. And I honor that and I see that fully. That is holding space. It is creating a safe space for you to really allow all energies to move through you and to do the work. And whether that is your gift is to clear and cleanse, or your gift is to smudge, or your gift is to guide the inner child to be safe throughout the process. Whatever it is that is allowing them to step into their power, we do so as a healer, right? So how can you hold space? Maybe that's something that you can take as a journal prompt for you. What are some new ways that you can shift to holding space when you are in a session as opposed to being a sponge? And if this is something that you want to learn and you are someone that is depleted all the time, you're of service and you want to learn more tools of how to be a space holder, you want to learn how to step more into your dharma and reach more of your community, I highly suggest you go checking the Earth Dharma program, which is a lifetime mentorship for healers, space holders, and light workers. So go check it out. It's linked down below my link tree. The next thing is finding a mentor to align and support you. So timing, as I mentioned that with Earth Dharma, is finding a mentor. I have so many mentors that support me. There is no way that I could hold retreats, do Earth Dharma, do Queen Rose, have one-on-ones, be supporting. There's no way. I have a team that supports me. Was it like that all the time? No. At the beginning, obviously for years, it was just me. But what I had to learn through my process is if I keep on hitting the same place over and over again, it can save me more time and energy to connect with someone that feels in alignment and is doing exactly where I want to go, right? So I started to really sit in the rooms with the people and listening, connecting, and just being humbled. Sitting with the elders, being humbled, I still do, with my teachers. And this allows me to really sit in and stay connected and also be a student, no matter what. So I'm always checking in on my shadows. I'm always checking in on what's coming up. I'm always checking in with, my internal energies and emotions, and external as well. So whether that is friendships, partners, family members, whatever it is, or even a mentor, a therapist, who is your super team? Who is your Jedi team? Think about it. Is there anyone around you that is your Jedi team? And if your answer is, I don't have a Jedi team, please go check out Earth Dharma, because it's all about community. It's not only learning tools, but it's about being supported in a community of other healers, light workers, and space holders, and to learn. For those of you who are just starting out, it's for you as well. This is for all levels, and you can expand on all layers. I've had people who've been working on this for years. They go into Earth Dharma and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a lot here. So it's a continuous space of learning, and you get lifetime mentorship to expand your practice and be supported. And that's a dream for every healer, I feel. For me, I'm so grateful that I have that relationship, and I want to offer that to the collective. Next tip on how to be a healer, true, authentic healer, and becoming the healer that you are to be of service for your collective and community, is connecting with nature and the elements. You are part of nature. Building a relationship with nature is required. We are nature. We are created at nature. We are mammals. We are animals. And we forget that. And the more that we disconnect ourselves, I know I'm on YouTube right now and I'm connecting with you here, but even beyond YouTube, there are things that I do. There's a certain amount of time where I need to just go and isolate. That's my medicine. Isolation with the plants, medicine, dieta. That's what I do. And it really is, it's amazing. It just resets my whole body, allows me to come back to myself. And without the plants, without that, I would not be able to do what I'm doing. So again, think about what are some ways that you can connect with the elements in nature: fire, air, water, ether, earth. How can you connect with all of these amazing 5 elements and beyond to support you? Because again, remember, we are not alone doing this. And the more that you can work with the elements, the more that you can step into the power of your healer, right? Because the more we can connect with nature, the more that we can connect with our divinity, and the more that we can help others connect with their nature and divinity as well, because we are all mirrors of each other. The last 2 tips I have here for you on how to become a healer: boundaries, 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 boundaries. You will hear this all the time. If you've been around here, you already know I say this all the time, whether it's my readings, whether it's my tips, whether it's my meditations, whatever it is. Boundaries is the work of being a healer, right? It is important for us to have boundaries, because if you don't, you'll be depleted. If you don't, you're gonna feel like you have the fawning that comes up, where you're constantly walking away from a session feeling like I didn't do enough, or that the person didn't get enough, and there's that guilt that comes in. You've attached yourself to feeling like it's your job to heal that person, your job to save that person. when that is a false story that is connected to the shadow of your own inner wound. Let that sit in for a second. So this is one of the biggest things, boundaries. What are the boundaries I need to create to ensure that I am first allowing that person to have that space, but also when I work with other dimensions, energies, and guides and ancestors, that I'm not carrying them outside of the space, right? I'm not carrying them within the space of my home, with my family, my loved ones. That's not coming with me. You know, it's shifting. I'm keeping a clear and clean channel. So I always say that after a session, it's very important to check in with yourself. Is there any energies that don't feel like yours? And most likely sometimes you might check and be like, oh, that's the clients that they just released, and you do some smudging or some other practices that could be supportive for you. And again, I teach all this in Earth Dharma. So if this is something that you're interested to learn how to be a healer, a space holder, a light worker, and step into your Dharma, what you are meant to do beyond your lifetime to shift the collective right now, this is the time. We need y'all. You need y'all. So this is very important. The last step is integrate to find clarity on new beginnings, being a healer. So as some of you have known, some of you have been here since like years ago, since I started my YouTube channel, you've seen my evolution. You're going to continue to see my evolution. For those of you new, hello. And again, don't forget to subscribe. You want to learn about being a healer. I'm giving you all the tools you can to already get you started on here on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe, like, and stick around. Now, this specifically is super important, integrating to find clarity and new beginnings. If we don't integrate, integrating is 85% of the work. What is integration? Integration means that all of this spirit work, energetic work that you've been doing, it finally lands in your reality of the human space here, right? And in order for us to fully see it to happen, we need to have spaciousness, we need to have solitude, we need to have slowness. We need to have a space for us to just do nothing. And doing that, it sounds so like reverse psychology, because we're in a society that says we have to do more, and why are we taking how many days off, and all the stories. But actually, when we do a lot of deep work, it's important for us to take this time to rest, to take this time to reset, to take this time to just reflect, because it can save us more time and allow us to be more efficient in our energy fields. Because right now we're in a time where we're actually changing our DNA and our blueprint when we're doing this healing work. It's beyond our physical body. We're able to shift on such a high subconscious level that could eradicate trauma from the beginning of time from our ancestors, for example. So this is how powerful healing and being a healer, being a space holder is. It also holds this responsibility, which I talk a lot with my students in Earth Dharma. What is the responsibility of being a healer? What does that look like? If you want a video on that good tip, let me know down below. I'll do a video, #responsibilities of a healer, and a little fire emoji beside it, and I will do a video for you to help you out so you can hold space, because this is one of the biggest things I don't see. A lot of people holding the space, but not really understanding and actually shifting from responsibility to saving the space holder, saving the client, and that is not the responsibility. What does that look like? What does that even mean? I'd love to go over that with you. So again, remember, integration is 85% of the work for you and your clients. And it's very important that you are an example of embodiment and an example of authenticity. I think this is so important in this time of the Aquarius of truth. Everything will be shown. Everything is see-through. There's no veil anymore. The veil has disappeared. We are all in this collective. The insanity is all mixed together. All energies, all dimensions. So as we live into this multi-dimensional world, stepping into it deeper and deeper as healers, as space holders, as light workers, we are also evolving, and we're also expanding within our being. So let me know down below what was the secret sauce for you in this healers video, and if there's any other video topics, questions you have on how to become a healer, how to become a space holder, how to become a light worker, please let me know down below. Put a hashtag, Q&A in the question. Maybe I'll do a little Q&A question on healers and space holders to help you out, or even just like a one-off video if it's really deep and potent, so I can help you out. And also, while I have you here, I will share with you that I have this beautiful lifetime access mentorship program that is a training program for healers. And it essentially teaches healers that know that they have their gifts, that are currently of service, who are starting out and teaches them how to do inner child healing, past life regression, working with the Akashic records, stepping into working with Reiki, as well as their own gifts, altars, elements, and so much more to allow themselves to be of service for their community. We even teach you how to set that up and have a conscious exchange to allow yourself to be supported as a space holder and healer. And if you are 100% yes, I'm in, let me know down below with hashtag Earth Dharma, I'm ready, and I will send you the application, as well as you can find it if you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Go check it out down below. I have it there for you. So I cannot wait to see the souls that come into this beautiful space, and for all the women out there that feel called to go deeper into their healing and learn more about their inner power as a healer and know that they still have some deeper work to do. Highly suggest you checking out Queen Rose and my one-on-ones. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit notification bell so you do not miss a video, and I will see you in the next video. Cannot wait, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, talk soon. Bye.